What if I told you the most feared pirate ever wasn't just a movie character? Edward Teach, known as Blackbeard, was real. He terrorized the seas for only 2 years, but his legend still haunts us 300 years later. Edward Teach didn't start as a pirate king. He began as a regular sailor working honest jobs. Think about starting a new job today. You learn the rules. You watch your co-workers. You figure out how things work. That's exactly what Teach did on merchant ships. He learned navigation, sword, fighting and ship handling. These skills would make him deadly later. Around 1716, Teach joined a pirate crew. Pirates needed experienced sailors who could fight. Teach was perfect for the job. He was tall, strong, and fearless. Most importantly, he understood how ships worked. But Teach had something special. He knew fear was his best weapon, so he created the character of Blackbeard. He grew his beard long and black. Before battles, he twisted burning rope into his hair. The smoke made him look like a demon from hell. Imagine meeting someone like that on a dark ship. Your heart would stop beating. That was exactly Teach's plan. Scared enemies surrendered without fighting. This saved lives and made raids faster. Teach also carried 6 pistols across his chest. He never knew which gun would fire properly, so he carried extras just in case. Smart pirates always had backup plans. His crew loved him because he shared treasure fairly. Unlike many pirate captains, Teach treated his men well. Happy crews fought harder and stayed loyal longer. Within months, other pirates started copying his style. They grew beards and used fear tactics too, but none matched Blackbeard's natural talent for terror. He had turned intimidation into an art form. The transformation from Edward Teach to Blackbeard shows us something important. Sometimes, ordinary people become legends by understanding human nature. What would you do if you met the real Blackbeard face to face? Blackbeard's ship, Queen Anne's Revenge, was his floating fortress. This wasn't just any pirate vessel. Picture your dream car with all the best features. Now imagine a ship built the same way. That was Queen Anne's Revenge, originally a French slave ship. Blackbeard captured and redesigned it completely. He added 40 cannons to the ship's sides. Most merchant vessels had only 4 or 6 guns. Blackbeard's ship could destroy enemies before they got close. The cannons weren't just for show either. His crew knew exactly how to use them, but Blackbeard didn't always need to fire those guns. His reputation often did the work for him. When merchant ships saw his black flag, many surrendered immediately. They knew fighting meant certain death. His flag was terrifying by design. It showed a skeleton holding an hourglass. The message was clear: your time is up. Next to the skeleton was a spear pointing at a bleeding heart. Even people who couldn't read understood this threat. Blackbeard perfected the art of psychological warfare. He would appear suddenly from fog or behind islands. His ship moved fast for its size. Victims had little time to escape or prepare. During attacks, Blackbeard's appearance struck fear into everyone. The burning ropes in his beard created thick black smoke. His 6 pistols gleamed in the sunlight. His wild eyes promised no mercy to anyone who resisted. But here's the surprising part. Blackbeard rarely killed prisoners unnecessarily. Dead men couldn't spread stories about his terror. Living witnesses made better advertising for his reputation. He also chose his targets carefully. Blackbeard attacked merchant ships carrying valuable cargo. He avoided military vessels unless necessary. This wasn't random violence. This was a calculated business strategy. Smart pirates like Blackbeard understood that fear was more valuable than bullets. A reputation for terror meant easier victories later. How do you think sailors felt when they spotted his flag on the horizon? For 2 years, Blackbeard controlled the American coast like a sea emperor. No ship was safe in his waters. Think about a neighborhood bully who controls the playground. Everyone knows to avoid certain areas. That's how the Atlantic coast felt during Blackbeard's reign. Merchant ships changed their routes just to avoid him. His headquarters were in North Carolina's Outer Banks. These shallow waters were perfect For pirates, big Navy ships couldn't follow him there. Only Blackbeard knew the safe channels through the sandbars. From this base, he launched attacks up and down the coast. His favorite hunting ground was near Charleston, South Carolina. This busy port meant lots of rich merchant ships. In 1718, Blackbeard did something incredibly bold. He blockaded Charleston harbor completely. No ships could enter or leave the city. Imagine if someone blocked all roads into your town. That's exactly what he did to Charleston. The city was desperate. They needed medicine and supplies badly. Blackbeard offered a deal. Give him medical supplies and he'd leave. Charleston had no choice but to agree. This wasn't just robbery. This was economic warfare. Blackbeard understood that controlling trade meant controlling power. He had turned piracy into a political weapon. During this time, he captured over 40 ships. His crew grew to 300 men. They operated multiple vessels across hundreds of miles. This was organized crime on a massive scale. But Blackbeard made one crucial mistake. He got too comfortable. He started spending time on land in North Carolina. Some local officials even protected him for money. This gave his enemies time to plan. The governor of Virginia was especially angry. Virginia's ships were being attacked regularly. Something had to be done about this pirate problem. Blackbeard's success also made him overconfident. He believed his reputation made him untouchable. This pride would soon prove deadly. What would you have done if you lived in Charleston during his blockade? Blackbeard's end came swiftly and violently in November 1718. His final battle became legendary immediately. Think about a video game boss fight. The hero faces the toughest enemy at the very end. That's how people saw the battle between Blackbeard and Lieutenant Robert Maynard. Virginia's governor had had enough of Blackbeard's attacks. He sent Maynard with 2 Navy ships to end the pirate threat. Maynard was young but determined to make history. Blackbeard was anchored near Ocracoke Island when the Navy found him. He had only 19 men left with him. Most of his crew was on shore. This should have been easy for the Navy, but Blackbeard wasn't worried at first. He knew these waters perfectly. The Navy ships were bigger and heavier. They might run aground. On the shallow sandbars, the battle started with cannon fire at dawn. Blackbeard's first shots were deadly accurate. They killed many sailors on Maynard's ships. One Navy vessel was damaged so badly that it couldn't continue fighting. Maynard tried a clever trick. He hid most of his men below deck. When Blackbeard boarded the ship, he thought he'd won easily. Only a few sailors were visible above deck. Then Maynard's hidden men rushed up from below. Suddenly, Blackbeard faced overwhelming numbers. The trap had worked perfectly. Even the great pirate was surprised. The final sword fight was brutal and quick. Blackbeard fought like a wild animal. He took 20 sword cuts and 5 bullet wounds. But he kept fighting until the very end. When Blackbeard finally fell, the age of piracy began dying too. His head was cut off and hung from Maynard's ship. This proved to everyone that even legendary pirates could be defeated. Some say Blackbeard's ghost still haunts those waters. Local fishermen report strange lights and sounds near Ocracoke Island. His death marked the end of piracy's golden age. After Blackbeard, no pirate ever achieved such power again. Do you think Blackbeard knew this would be his final battle? Edward Teach transformed himself from an ordinary sailor to a legendary terror of the seas. His psychological warfare and strategic mind made him more than just another pirate. For 2 years, he controlled American waters like a sea king. His final battle ended both his life and the golden age of piracy. Today, 3 centuries later, Blackbeard remains the most famous pirate who ever lived. What did you think of Blackbeard's real story? Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe. For more amazing historical tales, comment your favorite pirate fact below.